Hi, I'm Kelsey from KnitMe, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do the knitted cast-on. This is one of my favorite cast-ons for beginners because it kind of gets you used to the motion of knitting the stitch. And it's also a bit of a cleaner cast-on. It gives a sturdy foundation row with the first stitch. The first row of stitches are already knit, so you're not kind of fiddling with loose loops. So I think this is a really good way to start. So I will show you how to do that. So all you need is your needles and your yarn. So your working needle will be in your right hand and the needles with the cast on stitches will be in your left hand. So to start, you need to make a slip knot. So to do that, you take your yarn, leave a tail that's 4 inches long, then wrap the yarn around your fingers to form a cross, and then just pull that yarn through the loop. So I'll show you that again. So hold your tail, wrap the yarn around, and pull it through the loop. And just kind of keep your finger where you pulled it through and just wiggle it until it's snug. So now we have what's called the tail and the working yarn. The working yarn is attached to the ball, and that's all you need to pay attention to. Your tail just kind of hangs there until you're done. So we have our slip knot and our working needle. We're gonna put the slip knot on the needle and gently tug these working yarn until it's snug on the needle, but not tight. You never want your stitches too tight, otherwise you'll have a hard time working them, which is no fun. So you wanna make sure it's still loose enough that you can slide it around pretty easily. Okay, so now this will be our first stitch. So we'll put that in our left hand, working needle in our right hand. What you're gonna do is enter the right needle into the stitch from front to back. So you're forming a cross through the middle of the loop with the working needle on the bottom. So front to back, got your cross. So now you take your working yarn, bring it around the right needle, and use the right needle to scoop that yarn up. So I'll show you that again. So enter from front to back, bring the yarn around clockwise, and pull it through to form the new stitch. So what you have on the right needle is your new stitch. So what you're gonna do is take your left needle and scoop it up and slide the right needle out. So now you have 2 stitches on your left needle. So we're just gonna keep repeating this process. So enter from front to back, bring the knit yarn around and pull it off. The best way to do this is actually to leave the stitch on the needle, put the left needle in and leave it crossed like that. So you're actually already in position to start the next stitch. You don't need to do the process of pulling the needle out and sliding it on. So I'm in the cross position, bringing my yarn around, pulling it through the stitch, and putting the left needle through. And because the left needle is going through, we're doing that from back to front. So we got our needles back to the starting position and bringing the yarn around, using the right needle to pull it through. The left needle enters to form the cross, and we start our next stitch. And so you just keep going with that motion until you have as many stitches as your pattern requires. And that includes the slip stitch that we started with. That will count as your first stitch. So I'm just gonna keep going till it feels right. Do a few more just to show you that motion. And then when you're done your last one, put the needle in, slide the right needle out, and just make sure that yarn is nice and snug. And so here you can see we've got a good number of stitches to start with, and you can see the purl bumps that form the kind of foundation for the first row. And so when you start to work it, your stitches won't be sliding around and it's all nice and easy. And you can check out our next video on how to do the knit and the purl stitches to move on to once you've mastered the cast on. So that's it. If you have any questions at all, you can send me an email at info@knitme.ca or reach out to me on Instagram at knitme.ca. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Okay. I think that's it for those.